What's up guys, and welcome back. I had a great day yesterday in Valencia at the Formula E test. It was really fascinating. Check out the video from yesterday if you haven't seen it yet. Apologies that Electric Tuesday actually only was uploaded on Wednesday. But anyway, today is about something very different, and whilst I was away yesterday, two exciting packages arrived. Hold on. I know what they are. That is something I'm very excited about reading. I cannot wait for this book. I helped the guy who wrote it, Carrie. I helped him with some information, and we kind of talked a couple of times about some stories about Kimi. I don't know if they're in there, haven't seen it yet, but really excited. It's his birthday today, in fact. Happy birthday, Kimi. I really hope this does well. I'm not even sure it's out in English properly yet. If it is, go get it. Because you know it's going to be great. So that's Kimi's book. I will get stuck into that as soon as I can. And the other package, something equally as exciting, well, for me at least. Look at these. A paperback version of my book. It's not out here. It comes out on the 1st of November, but because I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to give you some. Who wants one? I'm going to give, let's say, 5 of these away. So you can have one before it's even available in the shops. All you have to do to get one of these copies, which I will sign for you by the way, is to share this video on Twitter or Instagram. All you need to do is tag me in it. So tag my socials in it, which will all be you'll see at the end of the video on the end slate. So share the video. If you want to make a nice comment, lovely, do that. It won't influence my decision on who gets them, but just tag me in the sharing of this post, of this video, and I will go through and pick 5 winners at random, and I'll get them in the post very quickly, and you can have one before anybody else, and it'll be signed to you personally. There you go, that's that bit done. Go get started on that as soon as this video is finished. But today is all about the US Grand Prix. Let's have a look at this particular race, this particular race track, what we can expect, what the challenges are, because we head there, of course, the last of the double headers for this season. Round 18, can you believe it's round 18 already? And still, we've still got 18, 19, 20 and 21 to go. Unbelievable, isn't it? What a long season we're having these days in Formula 1. Right, the US Grand Prix though, one of the best modern circuits on the calendar. I don't think many people could disagree with that. We all love the history of the old tracks, but if we're going to talk about new tracks and purpose-built tracks, this is one of the best. The drivers love it, the teams love it, the facilities are incredible. The drivers love it because the track is just amazing. It has, you know, 3 very distinct sectors, very unique track as well. I mean, it has elevation change, big elevation change, really fast flowing corners. Let's start with sector 1, the bit the drivers love more than anywhere else, I think. It's got this really steep incline, hasn't it, from the grid up into turn 1, and on racing laps, or qualifying laps for that matter, you get so much extra downforce because of the compression of the car going up the hill that the loading on the car is astronomical. It allows the driver to brake very late into that first corner. But interestingly, by the time you get to the top and to the crest of that hill and to the apex of the corner, just like in your road car when you go over a little bump in the road, the car goes light and it loses 85% of the downwards loading on the car at the point of apex of that corner. Imagine losing all of that loading that you've been relying on for the late braking, for stopping the car, for grip on turn-in, and all of a sudden almost all of it goes as the car goes light, right at the point where you kind of need it most. So a real challenge, and once you get through that, of course, you're into that very fast flowing first sector, which the drivers liken a bit to Silverstone, the Maggots-Beckett's complex, which everybody loves, of course, and it's the same here. It's a really fast flowing, corners flow one into the other, has a really great, if you get a good rhythm, the circuit has a good rhythm. If you as a driver tune your rhythm as in the car into the circuit, you can fly through that section. It's so impressive to watch, so impressive to drive, I think, from a driver's point of view as well. Sector 2, of course, has the long straights, overtaking opportunities, big DRS zone. This is a place where you can overtake, so that's also great about this track. So no matter what happens in qualifying, no matter what happens at different points around the race, there are still opportunities if you're out of position to get by. And then Sector 3, of course, has a series of fairly slow corners as well, so it has a little bit of everything. So in terms of your setup from a team's point of view, it's a real, I mean, they're always a compromise, but this is a real compromise. You need high downforce because there are quite a lot of slow corners. Interestingly, and this is a great fact I read the other day, this particular track has more slow corners than the Hungaroring, and yet more high-speed corners than Spa, Francorchamps. What an interesting stat that is. That tells you the sort of the complexity of what a team is faced with in terms of setting up their car. The fact that we've got a very long DRS section down the long straight allows you, of course, to dump a bunch of drag as soon as you get into that zone. And so it does mean that the teams tend to favour a higher downforce configuration to suit the slower, twistier parts of the track, where you really need, the driver needs to really be able to rely on grip, particularly slow speed grip, and particularly grip through slow speed corners and traction out of those corners. So downforce is really key to achieving that. And of course the compromise that would slow you down on the straights is at least alleviated to some extent by flipping open the DRS in qualifying, at least. You can rely on that. So a real kind of difficult, excuse the dogs barking, a real difficult place for a team, for an engineer's point of view, when you look at this track and you kind of look at it on a sheet of paper and you go, right, where do I start? It's difficult because you know, it's kind of one of those things that experience tells you that the slow speed corners and the traction will mean that the downforce has to be favoured over top speed. So I guess the things you need to be quick around here, well, you need everything. You need that slow speed grip, you need the traction, you need excellent confidence on the brakes. You also need, of course, power and top speed. So it really is everything. You can't have everything in life or in Formula One, but this is one of those places where you need pretty much everything. A really good change of direction as well in that first sector, that really quick sector at the beginning, where you need the driver needs to have ultimate confidence that when he turns a tiny input on the steering wheel, the car will do exactly what he wants it to do. We've got soft, super soft and ultra soft tyres here. It's the same combination we had last year, but of course they've all taken a step softer this year. It's still likely to favour a one-stop race. I mean, depending on weather and temperatures. It's not a particularly abrasive asphalt here, so you know you can get degradation because of the loading going through these tyres. You can get degradation, but I don't think it's so dramatic that you're going to be forced into a two-stop race. So I think we'll still see teams favouring one stop if they possibly can. But as I say, there are opportunities to overtake on track here, so we don't need to necessarily rely on pit stops to have the sort of changing of positions, you know, as we do at some tracks. Of course, there is this big thing hanging over this race that we could be crowning Lewis Hamilton as a 5-time world champion, and I would not put it past him. He needs to win this race. If Sebastian Vettel doesn't do better than third, it's all over. And much as I'd love this championship, it started so well and so closely between those two for the first half of the year, to continue and go to the wire. Lewis has been so dominant. Lewis and Mercedes have been so dominant over the last few months that, to be fair, they deserve it. They deserve to win it, and if they can win it in Austin, which Lewis would absolutely love, wouldn't he? In front of his US fan base, he would love to win it here. Well then, fair play. If they take it, they utterly have deserved it. It'll be a shame for Ferrari and Ferrari fans and Seb Vettel fans, but if Lewis ends up winning this title, highly likely at this point, he will be the best man, this year, and the best team. will have got the job done, and that's what Formula 1 should always be. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the race weekend. I've got a busy day today. I'm actually, it's tipping down with rain. I've got to go and pick up my car, which is at the garage after an MOT. So I've got to get the skateboard out to go and do that in the rain. I'm then up to London this afternoon to host, or this evening rather, to host the UK Highways Awards. Not quite the Oscars, but for me that's quite a big deal. So I'm looking forward to that. Big old black tie event in a big swanky hotel in London. So I'm hoping that I can do a good job with that, and it goes very smoothly. Right, that's it then. Don't forget to share this video on social media, tagging me in at F1Elvis. Tag me in any of your posts, and I will then be able to see it when I do a search. And I will pick 5 lucky winners at random who will each get a personalised signed copy of that before it is available in the shops. Thank you very much. I think it looks great. I'm really pleased. It's a very different look to the hardback version. They've gone for a different cover so that it sort of stands out on the shelves. And you know, I think it could stand out on your shelf. So if you don't win one, go buy one. Thanks very much, guys. Please like the video and share it around. As I say, you've got to share this one. If you don't ever share a video of mine, please share this one, because you get a free signed book out of it. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already. Hit the bell and you won't miss another video. Tell your mates all about what we're doing here, and I'll see you tomorrow.